What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review, another special Kickstarter review. And today I'm very excited to talk about Vegas Wits and Wagers from North Star Games. This is for 4 to 7 players, ages 8 plus. It'll take about 25 minutes to play. And Vegas Wits and Wagers is an expansion to Wits and Wagers Party Edition that is going to add a 7th player. It's going to add some more chips, and it's going to add this new playmat, which will introduce new ways that you will be able to bet on Wits and Wagers. I really enjoy Wits and Wagers, but does this expansion add enough to warrant a purchase? Let's open it up, and I'll tell you what I think. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what should get inside of the Vegas Wits and Wagers expansion, an expansion to Wits and Wagers Party Edition. Also, if you're willing to get creative with a marker, it can be an expansion to the original Wits and Wagers, but it's much easier for the expansion to the Party Edition. So, what you're going to get is this big mat and some components. But the mat is, without a doubt, the star of the show. And as I always like to mention, this is the prototype promotional copy I have in front of me, even though I'm 99.9% sure this is what you're also going to get. And man, it is a nice, sturdy, huge mat. And just to give you a comparison of how big it is, I will place the original Wits and Wagers mat on it as well. And you'll see that this thing is just really a lot larger than the original one. Also, you'll notice that they added some new spots to the board, which are absolutely spectacular in my humble opinion, but I'll tell you more about that later. So first, we have the low-risk bets. You can bet on any of the red answers or any of the black answers, and you get paid 1 to 1. You also have these handy-dandy little mouse pad covers, in case you're not playing with the full player count, where you will be able to cover various different spots depending on your player count. The huge new addition to the game, though, that will change how you play the game, is right over here on the right side. So this is where you are going to bet on who you think is correct before their answers are revealed. So, everybody's going to place their answers down like so, and before they are flipped over, you might say, you know what, I think Larry really knows his stuff about mules. And you might say, I think Larry's going to get it, and then you put your coins on Larry, or you might think that you have the right answer, so you put your bids on yourself, and you could put one of your 100 or 200 chips on there. You cannot put any more than that. This is drastically going to change how you play the game, and it does make the game a little bit more swingy, which I'll talk more about in the pros and cons, but I love this aspect over here. You are never out of the game. If you can hit it big over here, you're right back in the game. The other really cool addition that they added to this are these spots right down here, which are going to help you keep track of the rounds. So this one's going to have 100 on it, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, which by itself is actually pretty lucrative. I mean, if you have the correct answer on the 6th spot, you're going to win $600 no matter what. So that is pretty appealing. So that's the new board, or the new playmat that you're going to get. Also, a cool added bonus is that on the back, you have the original Wits and Wagers mat on it if you want to play it, which honestly, I don't think you probably ever will after you try Vegas Wits and Wagers, but we'll talk more about that later. So next, you're going to get an additional character board, which will now let you play with 7 players, which is pretty stinking awesome, and you're going to get Elvis. Now, if I read correctly, I'm also pretty sure that you're also going to get 6 other larger size boards that will be the same size as this, because in Wits and Wagers family, at least the edition that I have, normally the boards are like this. So I'm pretty sure you're going to get 7 ones that are large like this, and they look really cool. Plus, I love playing as Elvis. You'll also get your 100 and 200 bidding chips, and if you're familiar with Wits and Wagers Party Edition, you should know what those are as well. Last but not least, you are going to get a whole bunch, and I don't have all of them right here, but you're going to get a whole bunch of new $500 and $1,000 chips, and you will need these, especially with the 10 to 1 over there. But that's what you're going to get inside the new Vegas Wits and Wagers. Alrighty then, Vegas Wits and Wagers from North Star Games, coming to a Kickstarter near you very, very soon. I'll be sure to post that Kickstarter link down below. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, game's not going to be for everybody for a variety of different reasons. If you didn't like the original Wits and Wagers because you didn't like the trivia or the betting, this one is not probably going to change your mind, because all it does is add new ways to gamble in the game. So, if that's the case, then you're probably going to want to steer clear of this one. Also, the original problem I had with Wits and Wagers was normally the last round was just everyone taking all their poker chips and just placing it on one spot and hoping they could hit it big. And while this does negate that problem, this game adds a little bit more swinginess with that 10-to-1 spot, because you could potentially win $3,000 if you get super duper lucky and are able to predict who gets the question right. Now, on a larger player count, it's not as big of a deal, but when you're playing with 4 players and there's only 4 people who have the potential to be right, that 10-to-1 spot can be a little bit overpowering. And one thing that I think a lot of people might start doing with 4 players or 5 players is actually just covering that spot up with the "we're closed" and just saying, you know what, we're just going to play it regular, but with the black and with the red. So I personally still like that spot, and I will play with it 4 players, but I could see that being a little too swingy for some people's liking. Any other cons I have with this? No. Moving on to the pros, it's frickin' fantastic. It's outstanding. It's amazing. It's spectacular. Go back it if you like Wits and Wagers, or if you like party games, or if you like trivia games, or if you like gambling, or if you like family games. It's just that simple. I have never given a Bowers Best Seal to a Kickstarter game that technically isn't released yet, that is coming to Kickstarter. And I'm going to stick by that, but I will tell you, this is the closest that I've ever gotten. You know, there's like Scythe, there's Good Cop, Bad Cop, there's Between Two Cities, there's some other games that I've thought about it, but this one, I really contemplated giving it a Bowers Best Seal. That's how much I love it. And I'll put it like this. Probably over the last 3 years, I've played Wits and Wagers, 5 to 10 times. Since I've got back from Origins 2017, I have played Wits and Wagers Vegas 8 freaking times. That's how much I enjoy this. Everyone I've introduced it to who played Wits and Wagers before was like, what? This is spectacular. It's mind-blowing how just adding these extra small elements just completely transforms the game and makes the game even better. And I really enjoyed the original game, as I think many people did. It's why it's won so many awards. But just the ability to bet on the red or bet on the black or do the 10-to-1, it just adds so much. And being able to have the round counter down here on the bottom and just the presentation by itself. You set this up, people will want to play. People will come over. People will be intrigued and will want to join in. And obviously, that's why you play a game like this, and the player mat does its due diligence. I also thought it was a nice concept that on the back, they had the original playmat. But that being said, I will never use this. Never, ever, 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 because this side is just completely better. Vegas Wits and Wagers is a Wits and Wagers killer for me. It's just better in just about every way. And if you don't like that 10-to-1, just cover it up. And that's another thing. These are super nice. They didn't have to give you these. These are fantastic. These things are nice. You can wear them as earmuffs if you want. Probably not recommended, but they're super duper nice. They're made out of mousepad material, and I can't say it enough. If you could not tell, I love Vegas Wits and Wagers. This will put Wits and Wagers, I think, in my top 100 games of all time, or potentially my top 50 games of all time next year when I shoot that list, because it just completely brings Wits and Wagers back from the dead for me. And it wasn't dead before. I mean, I still enjoyed the game, but this brings it back to the table. This is going to every party that I go to that I think might have games being played or something similar to that. This is going to every family gathering that I go to, because you get what I'm saying here. It's fantastic. If you like Wits and Wagers, you need to get this. It is a must-own expansion in my humble opinion. Oh, one last con. It doesn't easily... it's not an easy... What's the word? It's not an easy expansion to the original Wits and Wagers. So you have to have Wits and Wagers Party Edition to easily turn this into an expansion for the game. But if you have the original Wits and Wagers and you're willing to take a Sharpie to some of the chips and some of the boards, you can make this an expansion to the original Wits and Wagers if you're willing to get a little bit creative. But with that being said, Vegas Wits and Wagers, yes, 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 oh, yes, yes, yes. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know, when was the last time you played a game and you were just instantly smitten in love and you knew you were going to play that game for the rest of your life? For me personally, aside from this, because I did, and I was just like, wow, this is incredible. I think the last time I played a game like that, oh man, it was Vikings Gone Wild. It was a couple months ago with the Vikings Gone Wild, the deck building game, and I played it, and I was just, my mind was blown, and I was like, I love this game, and I never want to not play this game. But let me know in the comments below, when's the last time you fell head over heels in love with a game? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.